My 48M GF 47F recently changed her FB relationship status and didn't say anything to me. TL Doctor, my GF of 4 years changed her relationship status from in a relationship with me, friends only, to it's been complicated with me shared publicly, and didn't say anything to me. We have been dating 4 years in a long distance relationship and things started off hot and heavy. We talked about moving in together once we can, marriage, etc. Things naturally slowed down but still things were great. Starting at the end of last year, I noticed a little bit of pullback on her part. She said she is not sure about getting engaged. She since said X, Y, Z needs to happen before she will say yes. Much of XYZ has to do with moving and my job. She is a fitness instructor and is around younger more fit guys a lot. Her friend, also into fitness, just finished her divorce and is dating a guy at her gym. IGF said a guy at one of the clubs she teaches at asked her out after the group fitness class. No biggie, she said no. It has just been in my head she wants someone closer to her and is younger and more fit than me. We had a huge fight last week about a silly miscommunication. I think she blew it out of proportion. She mentioned ending things and then she packed her things and drove back to her city. She is not on FB much at all. Either am I. I just happened to notice my relationship status changed from in relationship with my GF to it's been complicated with my GF. I checked hers and it says the same thing. She also made it public whereas before her relationship status was only shared with friends. I am not sure how FB works, but if she removed me altogether from relationship status I would be notified. Also, by making it public anyone who may have an interest in her might see that and possibly pursue her. I am going to talk to her tonight but would appreciate any insight or advice. She has been pulling back for a year. She changed her FB status without saying anything to you. She already has a foot out the door. You need to sit down and talk with her. It's been 4 years. Neither of you has moved closer to the other. You're almost 50. Either move forward or cut ties. Why can't you ask her directly? That's a bigger problem. You posted a similar story a week ago, except you told more of a background than this story. So let me get this straight, you live 2 hours away from her. She gets 6-figure alimony check that ends next year and then she demanded you support her so she doesn't use her savings. What the fuck type of logic is this? You have to move to her to quit your high-paying job and lose retirement, yet she works as a fitness person that can very clearly and very easily find work in another city. Your job, however, is hard to find in her city. She acts like a damn whiny teenager and uses Facebook to passive-aggressively communicate with you. Why are you with this person who is clearly taking advantage of you? Do you really not see these red flags? Question mark. You dropped something. All the red flags she's given you. Triangular flag on post. 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 Triangular flag on post, 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 triangular flag on post. Triangular flag on post, triangular flag on post, triangular flag on post, triangular flag on post. After reading your comment I went and looked at the previous post. Yikes. Another angle I really didn't explain is, her kids never have to worry about money BC of her assets. She has more than me at this point, plus her kid's dad is wealthy. If I quit my job, my kids are losing out on inheritance. I don't understand how this woman is the love of your life. She is inherently selfish. She wants you to give up a lucrative job and find something lower paying near her so that you can support her, despite the fact that she is better off than you. What happens if you can't earn enough to keep her in the expensive lifestyle that she wants? Will she dump you for someone who can? You mentioned she mentioned ending things, then left. Perhaps she felt like in that discussion something changed for her, and you didn't realize it. You should talk to her. She may feel like she ended things. Am I, 21F, putting myself in a sticky situation with my 36M coworker who is going through a divorce. Hi Redditors, I'm a 21-year-old who recently graduated from college and started my first office job back in October. I've found that over the past month I've developed a massive crush on a much older coworker. He's a higher up, but I don't report to him, and I'd want to pursue it. It started with him approaching me multiple times to strike up a conversation. I didn't think much of it at first, thought he was just being friendly and was happy to become more acquainted with a coworker. We then added each other on social media, after which he started messaging me and we'd text back and forth for several hours. I found that I genuinely enjoyed our conversations, so I began hitting him up for a change. I knew he had a 3-year-old kid in another country, and word around the office was that him and his wife were getting a divorce. But that didn't bother me. My way of rationing it was that he was just a work friend and nothing more. This then developed into a huge crush on my part. I'd wait eagerly for him to come into the office, and feel disappointed on days he wouldn't. When I do see him at work, he still makes an effort to have a conversation and is playfully touchy with me. He has complimented me on my kindness and intelligence on several occasions, which stands out to me because those are both traits that I feel people have often overlooked, so it feels nice to have them be acknowledged. Since he's in a senior position at the company, I appreciate it even more when he calls me bright. When we text, it's not unusual for our convos to span well past 1 AM, and it should be noted that they are never inappropriate. They're normally silly and fun, but there is no explicit flirting. Yesterday, over text, he confided in me that he's been going through a divorce and that it's been a messy situation. He didn't go into more details, and I didn't want to pry, so we left it at that. I've been around divorce my whole life. Parents separated 10 years ago, sister married a divorced man with kids, so I know how messy it can get. I know he's most likely not in a mindset where he wants to get into another relationship, but it confuses me why he's taken such an interest in talking to me. He's friendly with others at the office, but to my knowledge, he does not text any of them outside of work, especially not till after midnight. I have a history of getting into relationships with emotionally dependent/vulnerable men, with my last one ending over a year ago. After that ended, I promised myself I wouldn't allow myself to fall for someone who would use me as their therapist. But I'm afraid that as time goes on and we get more used to each other, that I will find myself needing to comfort him if he starts going into more details about his divorce. I have no idea where I stand with him, and whether he sees me as a friend or potentially something more. As for the age difference, it really doesn't seem to pose an issue for either of us, though this is my first time crushing on a much older man. I deeply enjoy talking to him. He is the first man I've felt this comfortable talking to in over a year. It's refreshing and I don't want to stop, but at this point I don't know if I should cut it short or see where it goes. Too long didn't read. Been hardcore crushing on a much older coworker who is currently going through a divorce and has a kid. We talk frequently at work and via chat and seem to be getting closer, but I have no idea where I stand with him and whether I should cut it short early on so that I avoid getting hurt in the future. Short answer, yes. A bit longer answer, you point out your history emotionally dependent men, which confirms what you already suspect. The temptation could be this one will be different, but patterns are more reliable than enthusiasm. But it confuses me why he's taken an interest in talking to me. I'll be blunt, because this is meaningless and easy for him. He can remark on vague things like your kindness and be a star in your eyes. He can claim he's getting a divorce with a wife who is conveniently absent and have you believe that equals single. He can really talk with you and you'll lap it up like it's unique and special. And why? Because you're the 21-year-old new girl at the office. See the cliché op. This is not innocent or sweet or right. Faded out to a professional working friendship only. Playfully touchy senior co-worker who is in a higher position. He doesn't care about what's appropriate. Which also means he doesn't care about your reputation. Which also means he doesn't actually care about you. I see a lot wrong with this, but number one is mixing work with personal life. I just don't think those relationships ever end well. My advice would be to keep it professional and maybe back off a little bit until his divorce is final and he works through that. Going through a divorce is a funny way of saying still married. Big mistake. My 26F partner, 31M, was suspended from his job for alleged inappropriate conduct. What do I do? As the title reads, my partner has been suspended from his job for alleged inappropriate conduct. We have been together since 2013, 8 years. He received a phone call over the weekend saying he's been suspended as there is an ongoing investigation about inappropriate misconduct in the workplace. I'm currently experiencing a moral dilemma, especially since the only information I have is the above and his reaction to it. I'm trying to be supportive/empathetic, since he wasn't given any information. I feel like I should stand by him until I get a clearer picture, or any information. On the other hand, if there is precedent for a serious allegation, I can't stand by him in support. His reaction has been to shut down, sulk around the house, and thinking about switching jobs. We haven't even received word since the initial call. I've tried to pry into what could be, and he says he's unsure, which I don't know to interpret it as multiple possibilities or he's willfully ignorant. Brought up what if you actually hurt someone? His response is the usual IDK. If I was in his position, I'd be trying to figure out what I did that could have harmed someone and make a plan to rectify the situation. He can be dense, so I wouldn't be surprised if he accidentally did something. He could be lying though. I am on the positionality that one should believe the victim, especially after Me Too. However, I never thought it would be my partner of almost a decade that would be on the receiving end. I need help. If you need clarifying questions, please ask. I never thought I'd be here. Any advice about where I should go from here? Has anyone been in a similar situation? How can I gather further information? TL, Drive. I, 26F, am unsure of how to be supportive to my partner, 31M, of 8 years, who has been accused of inappropriate conduct. I don't have information about the alleged situation. Any advice on how to be supportive until the situation becomes clear? I would want him to tell me what he does know, which, at minimum, would include what he was told. I think a partner of 8 years has a right to that information. It's hard to make any decisions without much info, and the first step is gathering as much info as possible. I'm going to bet he knows exactly why he's being investigated. I guess you'll have to wait and find out what for until you can make a decision whether to stay or go. He knows what happened, he just fears the consequences of you finding out. Hell, it must have been bad, whatever it was. And with no info from him about it, all you can do is speculate. Did he get in a fight? Did he steal from someone? Did his actions cause someone to get hurt? Did he sexually assault someone? It has to be something he is ashamed of. If I was in his position, I'd be trying to figure out what I did that could have harmed someone and make a plan to rectify the situation. If he's not, he already knows what he did. He can be dense or avoidant,